All right, let's jump right in. We're going to be exploring the world of indigenous American pottery. Now, when you first look at a pot, it's easy to just see a container, right? Something to hold water or food. But what we're about to discover is that these incredible objects are so much more. They're actually vessels of history, spirituality, and identity, all shaped by hand from the earth itself.
This quote, this really says it all, doesn't it? It sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. This isn't just about an artist forcing a material into a shape. No, it's about a partnership, a deep conversation between the potter, the land, and all the generations that came before. That idea is absolutely central.
So, let's start right there by blowing up that first impression. We're going to look way beyond the simple function of these pots and start to see them for what they truly are, these rich, complex cultural documents. Exactly. Think of each pot as its own little time capsule. The specific mix of clay can tell you about the local geology. The shape tells you about its job. Was it for daily cooking or a sacred ceremony? And the designs, well, the designs are a whole language. It's history you can hold in your hands. I love these metaphors because they really stretch your imagination. A book made of clay, its symbols telling an ancient story. A map of the cosmos with entire belief systems painted right onto its surface. A community's heartbeat, present at every important moment in life. And of course, a vessel of ancestral knowledge, literally passing traditions from one hand to the next. So how does a piece of the earth actually become a vessel of knowledge? Well, this next part is all about that incredible journey, because the process of making the pot is just as meaningful as the finished piece. And this gets right to the very start of it all. Before a single piece of clay is even gathered, there's this deep, generational understanding of the land. Potters know exactly where to find the right kind of clay. They know how to ask the earth for it and how to give thanks. The whole act of creation begins with respect. And right here, you can just see the incredible skill that's involved. This is not a fast process. Every single step is deliberate. That coiling technique, building the pot up ring by ring without a wheel, that takes immense patience. And the firing, often done in an open pit, that's the real moment of truth. It's this high-stakes transformation where all that work could be lost in a second if the clay cracks. It's true mastery.
This really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's a collaboration. The potter isn't just bossing the clay around. They're working with it, with its spirit, guiding it into a form that just feels right. It's a real conversation. So once that form is created, it becomes a canvas. And this is where we get to learn how to read the language written on the pottery, a language not of words, but of these incredibly powerful symbols.
Okay, before we dive into the symbols, we've got to get this key concept down. The goal was never to paint a realistic picture of, say, a storm. It was to capture the essence of the storm, the energy, the power of the lightning, using these potent geometric shapes. It's a really sophisticated and symbolic way of seeing the world.
This is so cool. It's like getting a secret decoder key. Look at the stair-step design. It's not just a cool pattern. It represents cloud terraces, a pathway to the sky, a literal prayer for rain. Or a simple spiral could mean water or wind or the entire journey of life. These weren't just decorations. They were powerful statements.
So ultimately, the surface of a pot was like a public billboard. It could tell a stranger who you were, what clan you belonged to, and what your people believed about how the entire universe worked. It was a visual encyclopedia you could carry around. Okay, now that we can kind of read the language, let's look at how this art was woven into the fabric of daily life. Because these pots were not just sitting on a shelf looking pretty, they were active players in the community. And this just shows you how incredibly versatile this art is. You've got the humble, sturdy cooking pot, the absolute backbone of any household. And then you have the ornate, symbolically packed ceremonial ware, used for the most important spiritual moments. Both were totally essential, serving the body and the soul of the community. These vessels were basically social glue. They brought people together for meals. They held sacred offerings during ceremonies. The symbols on them were how elders taught the younger generations. They were even used as trade goods, creating friendships and alliances. They were truly at the center of everything. All right, for our final section, let's connect the past to the present. Because this story doesn't just end in a museum. This is a living, breathing tradition, one that's shown unbelievable resilience and is absolutely thriving today. This timeline tells such a powerful story of survival. For centuries, these traditions were just flourishing. Then came this period of huge disruption, where the practice was suppressed, nearly lost. But, and this is the crucial part, it was not extinguished. And today, we're seeing this incredible revival as a new generation of artists picks up these ancient skills. This is so important. They aren't just making copies of old pots. They are learning that ancient language of symbols and techniques, and they're using it to talk about today's issues, to express modern identities, and to innovate. It's this dynamic, evolving conversation with thousands of years of history.
Wow, what a powerful way to put it. This art isn't just some souvenir for tourists. It's a profound statement about cultural survival and pride. And that last line, "the clay remembers," that just gives me chills. It brings us right back to the beginning. The earth itself holds the memory, and that story keeps being told. So that leaves us with a final thought. After seeing how a simple clay pot can hold the entire story of a people, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Just take a look around you. What objects in your own life, maybe an old watch or a handwritten recipe book, carry more than just their function? What are their stories?